Hey folks, a very tired Ed here from Brain Pulp TV, and I am continuing on with the Shadows Over Innistrad 9-match friendly league. Now, if you remember from the last part, and I am about to spoil stuff, so if you haven't seen the previous videos, you may want to check out a link that should be appearing above my head. We had just finished our third match, and we got to add another pack to our card pool. I opted to do just that because I wasn't super crazy about the card pool initially. We did get some cards that I think are going to really help our deck. As well, I also created a brand new deck. Now, before we get to the brand new deck and decide whether or not we're going to use it for the next few matches, let's look at the cards I've added from the new pack, as well as a card that was in my original pool, which I didn't have in before, and what cards I've taken out to make way for them. First, let's get to the cards we're going to be adding. We're going to be adding another Nearheath Chaplain because I like it and it works from the graveyard and it has lifelink. The only downside, obviously, is its tiny toughness, but we can overcome that, and we want it in the graveyard a lot of the times anyways. Next up, we have Inspiring Captain, which is a really great card, especially when you have a flood of creatures on the board. It gives that little boost, and it puts a 3/3 body on the board as well. We have Crow of Dark Tidings. One of the big problems we had before was not being able to hit Delirium, because we have, as you know, the Mind Rack Demon, which wrecked us. I made the decision to cast it way too early at one point in the game, and it pretty much cost us the game. So to have something like Crow of Dark Tidings, something else to sort of pitch cards into the graveyard, will hopefully get us to Delirium that much quicker. Now, a card we had in our card pool before, but I didn't have included in the deck, is True Faith Censor. I'm sort of torn about putting equipment in. There's some equipment which I think is very, very good. This is actually one of those pieces of equipment that I think is very, very good. My issue with equipment is having the casting cost and then the equip cost. Sometimes I think it can be a bit too clunky as far as mana goes, but I've been playing with True Faith Censor in draft, and it's done nothing but good work for me, so I've decided to include it in this deck as well. Now, you can't add 4 cards to your deck without taking 4 cards out. Well, you can, but you shouldn't. So I'm going to show you the cards that we took out. We took out Vampire Noble, because it's fairly vanilla, so it's not that big of a deal to leave. Watcher in the Web I took out. It's a 5 cost. I mean, it's reachability that also allows you to block 7 additional creatures. Can be a nice trick, but most of the time it is a one-time dealie, and then that action is going to kill it. So I didn't really feel it fit in this deck, and I wanted to make way for a couple more humans. We have Gloom Widow. I realize we're sort of leaving ourselves open to flyers, but we do have flyers in our deck, so it's not like we can't block flyers when they come up. So Gloom Widow was not as impressive as I had hoped it would be. And then Stallion of Ashmouth. Now, this is the one cut because it is a nice Delirium creature that I wasn't sure about making. I had to make way, take something out and replace it with the True Faith Censor. So this one, sort of sad to see it go because I do like the card, but I think given the other cards that we've added, the deck is still much stronger for having it out and True Faith Censor in. So there you go. This is the face of our new deck. And before we start our match, I'm going to show you a deck which I may actually play instead. Now, this is a white, red, green build, which I made after adding the additional pack. We're sacrificing removal because we're no longer in black. So we no longer have Sinister Concoction, and the card I continually refer to as Murderous Compulsion. So those two are out of the deck, which does take out some removal. Now, we still have stuff like Angelic Purge. Even Aim High is sort of pseudo removal a lot of the times because it's a nice little trick that catches the opponent off guard. However, overall, we are definitely lower on removal. We are higher on aggression, though. I will go over the deck from the start to finish here. We have Town Gossip Monger. We have Insolent Neonate, the Militia Captain, Unruly Mob, Ember Eye Wolf, which is a card I've really grown to like in draft. Magmatic Chasm. Now, this is a card that has wrecked me in the past. It's a nice trick to be able to pull out at the right time, especially if you're opponent's board is doing better than yours, but you do have lethal, because a lot of the time your opponent is not going to have, unless they're going with a flying strategy, obviously a ton of flyers to block. So this will allow a fair amount of damage to sneak through on a stalled board. Aim high, I really like aim high. We have Obsessive Skinner, True Faith Sensor, Angelic Purge, which is really our only removal, so we're going to have to keep that in mind while we're playing. Hope Against Hope, 3 Convicted Killers, Ulvenwald Mysteries, Wildfield Scarecrow, Apothecary Geist, Inspiring Captain, 2 of the Nearheath Chaplains, Voldaren Duelist, which is a card which has also wrecked me in the past. Anything that can stop our opponent's creatures from being able to block, even if it's in this case just for a turn, can really turn the tide, and it's a sneaky little play to put in there. So I'm happy to see the Duelist in this deck. We have Intrepid Provisioner, and finally Gatstaff Arsonist, which transforms into Gatstaff Ravengers. Now, because in Magic, there is nothing better than taking time and effort to build a deck and then leaving what deck you play up to complete chance, which is a really great way to play. I'm going to flip a Canadian loonie, a Canadian dollar coin. There you go. So that is the tails, which is a little loon, which is why we call it a loonie, and the heads there. So tails, white, black, green, heads, white, red, green. And it is tails. So we are going to go with, I can't remember what I said. I think I said with the white, black, green deck if it was tails. So yeah, we're going to stick with the deck we've been using before, the slightly modified deck that we were using before, and we'll see how it works out. If we lose this first match, I will probably immediately switch to the white, red, green deck. White, red, green deck, not Drac. That's a completely different word, and it means something entirely different. Okay, so here we are. We are in match 1 of the second stage, match 4 overall in the league. I actually kind of like this hand. I may not cast Traverse right off the bat, because we have all the lands we need. We can get the Skinner out, and then we can get the Crow out the following turn. So yeah, we're going to keep this. We are going to keep this. It would be nice if I could cast something before the Skinner, because I would prefer to put a counter on something other than the Skinner itself, but if that's what we have to do, that's what we have to do. Excuse me. Okay, so Moorland Drifter. It's not totally bad for us. We do have a flyer if we need it. I think, yeah, I'm just going to go ahead and cast a Skinner and put the counter on itself. So we both have 2/2s out in the board. Now I probably won't block. Yeah, I'm not going to block. Because I'm going to cast Crow next turn, which may bring me closer to Delirium, which would be amazing. Wildfield Scarecrow, that's fine for us. Alright, so we are just going to go ahead and cast the Crow. Excellent, so we got a land in there, which is good for us. We got a creature, we can cast a sorcery next turn. That'll put us 1 away from Delirium. And then the Obsessive Skinner can really start doing some work for us, especially considering we have a flyer on the board. Now, I could try to force Delirium quicker by blocking, using the Crow to block. And then putting a couple more cards into the graveyard. Maybe that's the way to go, though we do have a flyer, which is kind of nice. Oh, he's not going to attack anyways, so we're not going to even have that option. Okay. So 1 more turn, and we can bring out the twins. Now, should I wait until... Curious if I should wait to cast Traverse until I have Delirium, or if I should use it to add to my Delirium. Okay. I'm just going to swing in. Do I swing in here? Yeah, I'm just going to swing into the crows. Yeah, you know what? I'm going to hang on to Traverse for a little while. And then next turn, we'll have the Twins out, which will be a great blocker for us. Yeah, we're not going to block this with the Skinner. Watcher in the Web is not good for us, but it's not the end of the world. We have Reaper of Flight Moonsilver, but I still think we're going to go ahead and cast the Twins and get that out there. Yeah, there's no sense attacking because this is just going to... I mean, unless we want to force Delirium at this point, which is something we could do. We could try to force Delirium. Yeah, you know what? We're gonna swing in with the crows. No, we're going to keep the crows up as a blocker, and then force Delirium next turn if possible. So, for now, we're going to bring out the Twins. Granted, with the Twins, I don't know why he would attack with anything, but who knows? Maybe he's got a trick, and he wants us to walk into it, and if that's the case, we're going to walk into it with the crows. Now, he does have card draw, extra card draw. Solitary Hunter, which sucks for us. Even though we are going to be able to cast something next turn to prevent it from flipping. So we now have Delirium if we want it. We have the Scarecrow. Now we could pitch the Scarecrow, which would put a artifact in here as well too, and cast Traverse the Ulvenwald. Now, is that more important for us to do now or later? Yeah, let's wait. We're going to wait and see. But at the end of the turn, I may just go ahead and pitch the Wildfield Scarecrow anyways. Drawing a card. And they're hunting for Delirium as well. Do they get it? No, thank goodness. 2 lands that get pitched. And I'm just going to go ahead and do the Scarecrow now. We'll grab a Swamp. We'll grab another Plains. Now this could be really good for us. What does he have that can block flying? He's got the crows. And if it's a human, it's got first strike. Even though I don't really want to attack. What do we want? What do we want to do with this? Do we want it on him? Because it will give it first strike as well, too. Make it a 5/5 first striker. Or do we want our flyer to be more powerful? No, let's put it on the Skinner. We're going to put it on the Skinner. So he's now a 5/5 first striker, which can take care of most things. I'm going to go ahead and cast Traverse so that I can get Delirium. And we do have Delirium now, right? Yes, we do. So, and that's all we're going to do this turn. I'm not going to swing in. And then I'm just going to start putting counters on... Maybe I should just start putting them on Obsessive Skinner. I think... You know, I'm going to put on the Twins. Because I really don't care at this point if the Crow dies. And then we have Reaper next turn, which is great. Well, that sucks for us. At least we got one. Now I'm really glad I put the counter on the twin. We are not going to block that because I want to feed the crow possibly to the Reaper. Oh, this looks good. It's a shame we don't have one more land so that we can't cast the Chaplain right away, but I'm still okay with this. We also prevent the Solitary Hunter from flipping. We're not in great shape, but we're not in the worst shape ever. He's one off from Delirium, which means the Moorland Drifter will then be able to start flying. Now he's got Delirium, so the Moorland Drifter does have flying. So I may just go ahead and block with the Crow here. I mean, I don't see him swinging in because I can block with the Reaper and block with the Crow. Dauntless, okay. So now they're going wide, which is very good for them. Awful for us, but very good for them. Murderous Compulsion is very good. I'm happy we have that on the board. Or on the board. In our hand, not on the board. Because that should be able to do some work for us as well, too. We're still going to hold off here. Maybe we'll be able to squeeze some life out of the Nearheath Chaplain. So the opponent's still got 4 cards in hand, which is bad. Bad for us. Inspiring Captain. That sucks when your opponent is going so very wide. So they're swinging in for an attack. Why don't we? Now, I don't super need... I mean, the Nearheath Chaplain is actually going to be good for us in the graveyard as well, too. I would have liked to have been able to pull out a bit of extra... You know what? I'm going to go Crow for Crow. And then let 3 go through. What did we get? Aim High sucks. Wait, hey, we got the Chaplain. We got another Chaplain in the graveyard for us, which is good, which is very good for us. I think I want to take out their other flyer. So I'm going to Murderous Compulsion that. I'm going to put in a couple of flyers for us. And I'm going to swing in with the Reaper. I will sacrifice a spirit. And I'm going to bring in the Town Gossipmonger. So I think we are, in one turn, things have really flipped over for us. Now, keep in mind, the opponent still does have 3 cards in hand. So this swing could go the complete opposite direction very, very quickly. We do have air superiority at this point, though. Seasons past. Damn it. So that's really going to suck for us. Uh, yeah, they're just gonna get a mitten full of cards out of this. I mean, it does tap them down, so they can cast like the Inspector if they want, or okay, well, or they can cast a card they already had in their hand. Righty, oh, a forest is not the card we wanted. We're not going to go ahead and put it out there because I don't want him to know that we have it. Now, he can pitch. I mean, the Chaplain does more work for us in the graveyard, but for now, I think I'm going to go ahead and swing in with the Reaper. See if he's going to go... No, he's not going to. Excellent. Is pitching a card. That's great. Not that he doesn't have enough in his hand already. That flips because we weren't able to cast anything, which sucks. Inspector. Radio Inspector. So he'll get more card draw, which is just what he needs. I don't think our deck is working badly. I just think his deck is working much, much better than ours. Why? Why Angelic Purge? I knew he had that in his hand anyways, but... I think we're just going to block with the Spirit and then tap it down for the Gossip Monger. Or do we hold off on that? So now we're going to transform the Town Gossip Monger. Man, seasons past, just... Oh, this is going to be fun. We're in so much trouble. Okay, well, at least he cast 2 spells. Forsaken Sanctuary does not help us. We're going to swing in with the Incited Rabble. And just probably pump it to, like, high heaven. Damn you for not having trample. Yeah, we're in a lot of trouble. I mean, at the very least, the Twins can block the Ancient of the Equinox. But I don't think that's going to matter for us in a couple seconds. It's to draw a card, of course. Not good. Not good, folks. Watcher in the Web. And he can just peck away at us. True Faith actually helps us a bit. Now, I'd rather have that in the graveyard, gain 5 health, last a little bit longer, and put 2 flyers on the board. So we're not doing as bad as we were a second ago. We're still not doing good. Of course. Of course. See, what we got to see here is we got to see a much better green, white, black deck than the one we built. So that's fun for us. Yeah. So, I mean, we can last another turn. I don't think we have anything that's going to help. So we'll just take out one of them with us. And most likely concede, and we concede. So, the opponent's deck was far better than our deck. It was in our colors, which is even more embarrassing for us because it shows you that you can build a better deck in the colors that we're in. So I think I'm gonna go with the white, red, green build. It can't hurt. I don't think our deck performed horribly. It's just that our opponent's deck performed so much better than ours. So yeah, we're gonna go with the white, red, green and test it out and see how it works out for us. Would we like to play first? Yes, we would. It's not super strong opening hand. We got all our colors. We got a turn 3 play and then several turn 4s. So we're going to keep it. But I think against this deck that our opponent has, it's not going to be quick enough for us. Should have waited to reveal the mountain, though we switched colors. Sinister Concoction. It's fine. Now, we have several Convicted Killers, so I might just go ahead and play the Convicted Killer as opposed to the... I mean, the odds of him using this on the Winfield Scarecrow are next to nil. So... And this between activating this and activating this, he's discarding 2 cards. Now, he could have cards with Madness in his hand. I don't really remember him having much in the way of Madness in his hand before. But he could have Madness. I'm going to go ahead and play the Wildfield Scarecrow on the off chance that he is going to Sinister Concoction it. And I do not see that happening. And then probably Convicted Killer next turn. Which he will most likely Sinister Concoction. Because then I can put the Apothecary Geist out there and it will be able to trade for his flyer. All of this sounds somewhat like a plan. Sinister Concoction is so good just because, I mean, there's a lot of sort of hoops you gotta jump through to activate it, but it's so good because it's like, I've got this thing and it's just waiting for you. It is waiting. It's gonna be here. It'll be here. Okay, Gloom. We do have Angelic Purge in here, which I may end up using for the Gloom, hopefully before he goes ahead and gets Delirium. Though he's probably going to get Delirium very quickly. Now we'll see if he Sinister Concoctions the killer. Which I would understand if he would. Drifter. Do I play? I gotta play something, right? Now we'll see if he does the concoction. No. He's waiting. He's waiting for a bigger threat. He's probably waiting for a flyer to show up. Okay, well, that was a good one. That we dodged that one. I mean, the good thing about the Apothecary Geist as well, too, is that even though if he decides to concoction it, it does sort of set him back one turn in that it gives us 3 life. So it's like the heir didn't attack one turn. He's has to cast something or else the killer flips. Solitary Hunter. And now we have to cast something or else the Hunter flips, which is a far bigger threat. So we're going to put the Geist out there. He can't concoction it. Well, he can concoction it on his own turn, but he can't concoction it on our turn. And we're just going to hold off. And the concoction's going to take out the Geist. Yippers, so he'll still be able to fly in. We do have other flyers, so we also have a very small bit of removal. We have aim high, which would be nice. So if we could draw something other than land, I'd be super cool with that. And everything's going to flip. Angelic Purge, just the card I was hoping for. Now, shit, Angelic Purge might be better there, but this is the immediate threat. He does have, okay, he already does have a creature in his... The other way to go is to take out one of the pack and then swing in. I mean, he's so close to Delirium, that thing is going to flip soon. But maybe it's better to take out one of the pack here as opposed to the flyer, which is slowly killing us. He's got 2 cards in hand. We could outrace him because we'd be swinging in for 7 if he doesn't block. I mean, once this hits as well, too, that's bad. We don't have much in the way of removal, so we really have to use it carefully. Part of me wants to take out the flyer. But another part of me wants to stay aggressive. Man, 3 valid targets for Angelic Purge. And I don't know which one to go for. We're going to go for... one of the pack. Now, it's very, very likely that he catches Delirium because of this. And that will not be good for us, but there's not much we can do. It also means he would have to tap down at least one of his black, which is not a huge deal, considering he's got 5 up. Okay, he's casting something instead. He's got his own Purge. And now they're both flyers, which sucks for us. Yeah, we're screwed. So yeah, we're dead. We caught another land. We definitely weren't hurting for land, so we're gonna go ahead and good games, or good game. Good luck in your next round. There we go. And that is that. Well, folks, we're doing poorly. We're doing very, very poorly. We've only won 1 single match so far out of 4, so we are below 50%, which really is awful. I'm not sure at this point what worked better for us, the white, black, green, or the white, red, green. I would probably actually say the white, black, green did better for us. Though we didn't really get a whole lot of chance to put the white, red, green through its paces, the creature heavy deck where we caught a lot of land. So maybe next match we'll flip another coin and decide which one we go with. Maybe we'll just build an entirely new deck, though that's unlikely. But yeah, thank you guys very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you have any questions, comments, if you have build advice for this, that there's a much stronger deck in this mix that I have yet to actually utilize, please let me know in the comment section below. I would love to hear any advice you guys have. Otherwise, take care. Thank you so much for liking and subscribing. It means a lot to us here, and I'll see you all very soon.